Hello there. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyway, it's been a long time since I've reviewed a starter kit, and I've had this one, Star Wars Force and Destiny, the beginner game starter kit, sitting around for a long time. And for those of you who don't know, this is one that includes a bunch of original dice and things. I thought it would be a good time to introduce this one, take a look at it. I'm not even sure how easy this is to get. There's obviously a bunch of different Star Wars RPGs. I think West End Games made one back in like the 70s and 80s. There's a Star Wars conversion for 5e, but this is an introductory adventure for players level 3 to 5. We've got bounty hunters, Jedi, and so on. So I thought we would go ahead and open this and continue on that series, which is something I do want to continue on, where I have all of these starter sets that I'd like to review. And, just to see what you get, because it's very interesting to see between things like Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder and all the ones that I do to see what people include in the starter kit and to see how much bang for your buck you're actually going to get. Now, I don't have an MSRP on the box for this. It does have the Star Wars Dice app, which is very nice because, again, if you have trouble understanding all of the various symbols, because, again, the dice are unique, that can help you because the app will just handle that for you. So we're going to go ahead and open it. Let's read the back of the box. Gather your friends, ignite your lightsabers, and get ready to discover destiny in the Star Wars galaxy. Whether you are brand new to role-playing games or just new to Force and Destiny, the beginner game is the perfect starting point for new players of all skill levels. Open the box and begin to play immediately. The Star Wars Force and Destiny beginner game features a complete learn-as-you-go adventure. Players can jump right in and play as they learn the rules. Pre-generated character folios keep things right at your fingertips. Custom dice and an exciting narrative gameplay system makes every roll a story. Compatible standalone game for 3 to 5 players. Comes with an adventure book, a rule book, an intro sheet, introduction sheet, a map, 4 character folios, 14 custom dice, 8 destiny tokens, and 55 character tokens. So we'll go ahead and take a look. But before we do that, you might have noticed it behind me. I wanted to talk to you about this. This right here, folks, is my Damien Sabers lightsaber. This is a fantastic lightsaber. It is available on DamienSabers.com. I'll also have a link in the description. Also a link to this particular model. This is, I think, the Revan, which is awesome right as it is just there. You can see here there's a little light. This is a USB-C charger right here. I'm going to do a full in-depth review of this lightsaber and talk about all the different features, but you can see it's orange. I don't know how well that's picked up on the camera, but you can hear, I hope you can hear, that we've got smooth swing, we've got flash on clash, we can block blaster bolts. All sorts of awesome features. This is a Xenopixel lightsaber, so all of the electronics and the lights are contained here in the blade. It's got gesture control to turn it on and off. There's a little set screw that lets you take the blade out. And one of the things I think is really cool about all of the Damien sabers is they actually have a conversion kit if you wanted to convert this to an RGB saber, one that you can possibly beat up a little bit more. Now, I'll be honest with you, you can hit stuff pretty hard with this, and you run the risk of possibly damaging something, but I've been able to run around and duel my 6-year-old with his lightsabers with this one and have a blast, and there's no issues yet. So anyway, be sure to head over to DamienSabers.com. I'll have links in the description. Definitely worth it. A lot of really awesome sabers like this one, a lot more custom ones as well, and they're all affordable. All right, so let's go ahead and open up our box. So we have right here. All right. Okay, it says read this first. This is our intro sheet. We have the beginner game. It says, oh, look at this. Okay, so this is something I'm actually really liking. We have in bold, in red, read this first. And then we have right here, read this second. Then we have character folios here. They said we get 4. So here they are. A lot nicer, I'll be honest with you, than a lot of the base character sheets we get in most Especially starter sets. Usually you get like, in some instances, you just get the one-off piece of paper. These are full color, multiple pages. Everything's here and annotated on the side. We're going to dive into these in just a sec. Let's start off with our beginner game read this first. So, welcome to Star Wars. It tells you what is a role-playing game, who are the players. Okay, so it's going to basically give us the super high-level stuff. And it gives us a moment in play. I always find these really fun, where you could basically sit with your other players and kind of almost do a play where it's like, okay, if the DM says this or the GM says that, the player says this or that, and you can kind of just read through how the players go about it. They also have a map and how to use it. And then on the back, we have a Star Wars title crawl here, which I think is the intro to the adventure. Sorry, my neck kerchief is coming apart, but either way. It says, Mountaintop Rescue. It is a dark time in the galaxy. The Jedi Order has been destroyed, and knowledge of the Force is all but lost. Only a handful of people sensitive to the Force remain, scattered across the stars, ignorant of their destiny. Humble scholar Hethan Roman has preserved a fragment of the heritage of the Jedi. Traveling the galaxy, Roman stumbled across a number of people still strong in the Force and offered what wisdom she could. Now Roman has been captured by Malefax, a servant of the dark side of the Force. Compelled by Malefax to lead him to the Lost Temple, rich in ancient knowledge, Roman has sent a signal to several of the Force-sensitive allies that she has made over the course of her career. Drawn together to rescue their mentor, these Force-sensitives now climb the snow-clad slopes of Mount Telek on the outer rim planet Spintir. It's a pretty compelling argument, a storyline, so I'm down for that. So that is the kind of intro, and then it looks like this is basically your intro to the rules. Yes. Okay, so this right here is a 32-page soft cover bound, but it is also full color. And this is going to explain to you all of the various rules of the game here. Everything from different checks and things. There's a lot to deal with the way the dice are rolled, because they're, opposed checks, but then there's like failing, but with a success, or is a success, triumph, advantage, failure, despair, and threat. You can kind of see it here with all of the different dice colors. Green is your ability die, yellow is proficiency die, purple is difficulty die, red is challenge die, the kind of D6 looking one is blue is the boost die, the black one's the setback die, and the white one is the force die. I personally, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't love unique dice-based systems. I kind of like the standard polyhedral dice that we're used to, but I'll also be honest with you, I don't like them in theory. I've actually never played Force and Destiny. As you can see, I'm opening the box here. But right there, I gotta say, the very clear rules of read this first, then read this second. Nice and easy, spelled out. Everything is full color the art on it is beautiful. Can't argue with that. Then we get into our character folios here, which, as I said, so here's Tarast here. Kind of looks to be, what the name? I forget the name of his race. Keldor, that's what Plo Koon is. So we look at the character sheet, right? And if we were to look at it, it says over here, it has like little numbers and it annotates what everything is. And it makes it easy for you, right? So it says characteristics and skills. Your characteristics are used to calculate many game values, but are rarely used directly. Whenever you attempt a task that might fail, you make a skill check. The dice you roll for this check are called your dice pool, and they're based on your rank in that skill and your characteristic. If you roll more, successes than failures, you succeed. Please reference these skills and descriptions of what they do. So then there's a list of all the different skills. A lot of these kind of make sense, and they are tied to 6 ability scores. They're called characteristics here. They are brawn, agility, intelligence, cunning, willpower, and presence. It's basically the same standard 6 you're used to in just about any game. Brawn is strength, clearly agility is dexterity. We don't have constitution. We have brawn, agility, intellect, cunning, willpower, and presence. So we have more mental stats than we do physical. And then obviously all of the skills are tied to one of those as well. And they are astrogation, athletics, charm, coercion, computers, cool, coordination, deception, discipline, knowledge, leadership, mechanics, medicine, negotiation, perception, piloting, resilience, skullduggery, stealth, streetwise, survival, and vigilance. I think some of those could possibly be a little redundant, but it goes over all the dice as I had talked about on the back and what the dice are for. Then it gets over here to this side, and it says you have soak. Soak value reduces incoming damage and can prevent wounds. Your soak value is equal to the sum of your brawn and the soak value of your armor. So that would be, again, kind of like your HP. Wounds represents your physical damage to your body. If your wounds exceed your wound threshold, you are knocked out and suffer a critical injury. Wounds can be recovered through medicine and stim packs. Strain. Strain represents exhaustion, mental trauma, and being stunned. So this is interesting because you basically have like three aspects of damage. Soak is how much you can take, basically your armor class. Wounds is how much physical damage it seems like you can take. And strain is like your mental exhaustion. And then if you have critical injuries, those are listed there. And then again, if you have force powers, your force powers are listed here. You use the force die if needed. And then it talks about here where here's everything the player can do on their turn. On each turn, you can perform one action and one maneuver in any order. An action can be an attack, use a skill, use the force, exchange your one action for an additional maneuver, and your maneuvers are move, aim, take cover, ready or stow a weapon, interact with your environment, engage or disengage, and stand up. It says stop here, don't turn the page until instructed to by the GM. Again, very clear instructions. Also says locked, you cannot use your force powers until the GM instructs you otherwise. And then this is basically your character. So this is essentially like level 1, and then here your character has advanced and now you have new abilities here. We have uses for our skills here, we have upgrades to our force powers, and you can also see our dice pool here at kind of like level 1 shows you how many dice you're going to roll for each skill. Those dice pools adjust. Also Tarast here, this Keldor career, his career is Sentinel. And he has a blaster pistol and a lightsaber. And then there is another page. And again, stop here, don't turn. And then it has here on the back, this I guess is one that you can fill out yourself. And then it also has your Sentinel tree for different options and stuff you could get, right? Career, investing experience points, skills training. And then on the back, we have the character's actual storyline. So that is Tarast the Sentinel. We have Serenda, the Guardian, once again another Jedi here. Also has access to a lightsaber. Similar fashion, you're seeing kind of the same things here. Everybody's going to have different force powers. Next up, we have the Seeker here. This looks to me like possibly like essentially a bounty hunter. Does not have access to a lightsaber. Does have what are considered force powers, but it says you can sense the world around. So I don't know if everybody has to be a force sensitive in a way. It seems like that might be the case. That's the Seeker, and then we have Dao, the Mystic. Again, looks to be he's Dathomir or Zabrak, but like from Dathomir. So I guess the more magic, I guess, as it were. There's a walking stick, and then again also has some force powers. Everybody has different skills and things. And we've got his story. Then we have read this book last. This is the actual hard rule book, which looks to have, this is more in-depth things about turn order. I saw, here's like a weapon table here. The different characteristics of various weapons. Then we have a whole chapter dedicated to the Force and Force powers. Committing Foresight. Then we have, adversaries here. Talks about using the Force, basic powers. Then we have enemies and stuff here. Probe droids, Fallen Apprentice, Fallen Master. So this is sort of, and then our back has kind of the skills. We have a very large size poster map, double-sided. Oh, I thought it was a little bit larger. It's actually just that thick of paper. So we have sort of the temple here on one side, and then we have the bridge, the ruin, and the valley on the other side. but this is a nice high quality card stock, or not card stock, but like higher weight paper. Beautiful color, nice and glossy. We have our character tokens here, which are nice. These are all just, some of these are larger size, all just little cardboard pop-out tokens for a variety of things. We have, looks like we have our characters over here, and then we have a variety of enemies, some kind of trash mobs, and, you know, larger enemies, and then these are sort of like force, what are they called? Destiny tokens up here. That's not all, though. We still have our dice. Another. That's it. Yeah. So here, as you can see, we have all sorts of custom dice here. I think that these dice alone go for a decent amount. Just like if people are trying to sell them, I think they actually are, because they're harder to come by. Now, I actually didn't see, it says one adventure book. Maybe I missed which one was the adventure book. All right, one adventure book, one rule book, one instruction sheet. All right, maybe I just didn't understand. We have our character folios. Oh, okay. So this is the adventure book, it says. Okay, it does. Okay, I didn't realize, because it's interesting that it says to read this second, but this is, I guess this is you, the person running the game. Yeah, here's encounter 1, and so on. So we have our instruction. This is, yeah, okay, this is the actual, like, module adventure with tips and whatnot. And then this is sort of like your core rule book, as it were, that's going to describe all of the various abilities that both the players and the game master would want to know. So, what do I, again, dice. I think that depending on how high of a level or how far in advance you get, you might need more of these dice, or just to roll them multiple times. That's why I also know that a lot of people prefer to use the app that you can get on a tablet or a phone. So, overall, for the Star Wars Force and Destiny beginner game box, I think I'm going to give this like an 8/9 out of 10. I mean, what do we get? We got a nice map. We got all the core rules that we need to learn how to play the game. We got an adventure to take our players in. It is listed. Does it give us a time frame? It does not. Sometimes they give you, the time frame of how long the game takes to play. I think that's always kind of a moot point with an RPG, because it can really take as long as the players want it to. We get the dice we need to play the game. We get 55 pop-out tokens, which is nice. Miniatures or some sort of means to move things on the map that we already have is nice. We get all of the nice in-depth color, with beautiful art, and again, very nice to have the sort of annotated numbers that tell you what all of the different things are. I'd be curious to see what the regular character sheet actually looks like. I'm wondering if that's this here in the back, like that's what your character sheet would look like if you were to buy like the main book and not the starter set, and that would be like a one-pager. I really like these folios. I always find myself gravitating towards folios if a game I like to play has folios in them, because I think the extra pages are always nice to have. So, yeah, I mean, you basically get everything you need to run the game. It's very clear in its instructions on what to do and what order to do things in. You have it's only 4 characters. It says on the front that it is 3 to 5 players. I think one of those players is considered to be the GM for this, so that's 1 plus 4 players. You get the nice big map, you get the tokens, you get the dice, and then again, Star Wars Dice, the app is available on the App Store and Google Play. So I believe that that's a free app you can go ahead and download. And I'm going to look up Force and Destiny beginner box, beginner game, and see what kind of pricing we're looking at if you want to go and pick one up for yourself. Actually, it's listed currently unavailable on Amazon. So I don't know what the MSRP was. It was released in April of 2005. It does have basically almost perfect 5-star reviews on Amazon. But it looks like I think on eBay or other things, you can get these box sets for around, what are they going for? Let's see. I think around like $40. Let's see. Oh, no, they might be going for a lot more. I probably shouldn't have opened this, but either way, I do think you get everything you need to have in the Force and Destiny beginner box. Also, maybe if you find one, hang on to it. I saw one. There's one I just saw on eBay sold for almost $200. So, unfortunately, this is kind of, I guess, almost like a bittersweet moment in that it's really cool and it provides you basically everything you need to play the game, but it might be hard to find one. So you might have to, go for the individual books as opposed to the beginner game starter set. But anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Be sure to go check out Damien Sabers to possibly get yourself your own awesome lightsaber, and be on the lookout for the full Damien Saber lightsaber review in the near future. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.